Hi, it's nice to see you. I am Leah Sia, and here are my April books. I'm early filming. Oh my god, it's happening. So, yeah, let's just get into it. Let's go. Book number 1 was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, right? Huxley, yeah. So this is a I just realized my water cooker was running in the background and maybe you heard that in the video. Sorry, now it stopped. Anyhow, so this is a utopia, dystopia novel where we are, I guess, in some kind of futuristic world. They do mention like the real world now. I don't fully remember where we are, if we are in the States or somewhere in Europe. Regardless, I think we're in London. Yes, actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure we are. So yes, and so it is like our modern world, but we don't really know what happened. But basically, so in this utopia, everyone's happy. Everyone's has like their dedicated roles. People are grown in factories, so there is sex, but there is no pregnancy and no childbirth. And before I continue, so it's not everywhere in all of the whole wide world, but there are like these areas, and where we are is like one of the biggest factories of these human beings, and then they are like created in different ways, and like the lowest class, so to speak, they are like eggs that have been split up several times. It's explained in like many scientific kind of wording in the very beginning of the book. So they also all basically look the same, and they have like the more mundane jobs, but still they are then conditioned already from eggs through baby to adulthood. They're conditioned to like their jobs and to be happy, and to have an attitude of I provide for society, so I am happy in what I do. Things like that. So it started for me very, very weird. I was like, holy shit, like how is this in any way, shape or form okay? And then also they have this one drug called soma in this book, which must be some kind of like sedative, like calming the nerves. Like they even like they call about taking grams or like even milligrams. I don't know, fully remember, but like very, very little. And if you took like too much, or if you took more, and that was in a sense okay, then you would go on holiday. So basically you would drop into an unconscious sleep. So you wouldn't dream nothing, you'd just be out. So yeah, very, very strong drug, which was encouraged, and also especially for the lower classes, there was like rationed delivery of soma to them, and that was like one of their goals. They were conditioned to want to receive their somas. And so yeah, so then we are in this utopia, and first, as I said, it's like explained to us the factors and stuff and how all that works, and then later we come into that part was slightly a bit, maybe like it was written interestingly, that's why it was fine, but it was almost getting too long, but then it ended, so it was still fine. So eventually we basically then follow, I would say, 3 or 4 main characters. We have Lenina, a girl who's she has like a friend Fanny, and they're like talking about dating. Oh yeah, one other thing in this utopia is like they have this rule, like everyone belongs to everyone. So again, there is like no sort of sense of family, because there is no family, because people are grown. And so there is no, so they also removed love, so to speak, or not, they call it love when they have sex. But like you're not supposed to be attached to one person. There are no relationships, and they're like casually talking about, oh, you've never had Lenina before, oh you should, she's pretty nice. And that's completely normal apparently in that where we are in a brave new world. And yeah, so we have Lenina, and she has been dating Henry, I believe, like for 4 months, and that's already like, whoa, like chill, why you're with the same person, that's not okay, everyone is for everyone kind of thing. And then we have Bertrand, who's oh, and there are like the upper class, by the way, the highest or second to highest of the grown people, so they have the nice jobs, and they Bertrand is apparently, even though like all these embryos are manufactured, so they all have kind of the same stature, but he's slightly smaller, so he gets like he's being mobbed, that he's like in that kind of thing, and so he's very, very insecure. But then Lenina takes a liking to him, and so it's about that they start kind of dating, but he also has slightly a more free mind. He's like, why do we go out and just have like sex? Like it means nothing if that's what we do, and we just do it because, oh, but it's fun. And he even says himself, and I like that phrasing, like we're like children that have adult sex. But yeah, and so then basically we follow those two as they're going through, and there's also, what's his name, Hayton. There's a friend of Bernard, one of the older guys, who also has like a free mind. He's like one of the people that are drawing, because there's also very strict control on what type of art that these people are allowed to consume. So also many books are basically not allowed inside these areas. They simply don't exist there. And he's like getting bored with what he's allowed to. He's a writer. That's his art. So there's like different people doing different arts. They're then still strictly controlled. But so he himself thinks that his art, his writing is like boring, because he only has so much to write about. And so like you do see that kind of like, so like my thinking was immediately going, oh, so is this a story about breaking out from this utopia, or waking up, or kind of like that? And not exactly. So, but then happens, the main thing in the book basically is that Lenina and Bernard, sorry, they're going to, I believe, New Mexico, it's called in the book, and that is then still, like, they are the savages. They're still living in like a normal, quote unquote, world where, yeah, people are born. People have sex, they get pregnant, and they are born. And so they go there and find it completely horrific, and Lenina is even so shocked she needs this holiday through Soma where she just sleeps for 2 days. And Bernard was really hot on her. And then there's also this one guy who is their guide for New Mexico, who is a local, who has been born, but he was actually born of a woman that was from the Utopia. But when she went to New Mexico, somehow she got lost. I think she got injured as they were fleeing from something. I don't fully recall. And so she ended up staying there. And because she wouldn't take, the women take stuff so they never get pregnant. And because she remained there, then from her last night, before she was left there, she actually conceived a child. And that is the son, and that he's then basically the guide for Lenina and Bernard. So they're like around in the same age class. And eventually this guy from New Mexico, he's so impressed by the Utopia, because he then, on the other hand, is being bullied by the normal people, or savages, depending from which viewpoint you want to watch it. And so they bully him for that. So, and then when Lenina and Bernard talk about their place in London, he's like, oh, I wish I could go there. And so they manage to get him back there. And then basically there's like a lot of effect on how does it affect the society. Like the people are very interested in this person and want to ask questions. That it's almost, but it's like in a very sad way, because he's basically like a circus animal, like being looked at and prodded. And Bernard is almost like the guy with the whip, if you will. So he's like the one organizing that you're allowed to meet, because he found this savage. And yeah, and so yeah, I don't think I want to say much more. So it's about all this, how that all plays together, characters, how they then change or not change in their like point of view, and in their insecurities, and how they deal with this situation of having now this savage in the thingy, and it's pretty dark. Yes, so this was a 2.5, 3 stars, 2.5, 2 for me. So the reason being, what I said just now, all of this is kind of fine. Why it got a lower rating was that it has a lot to do with the ending and the final parts. Because all of that, what I just said, has great potential, and I think it could have been a great book, and I think that, yeah, it was pretty fine. But, execution-wise, or also what the story went towards in the end, felt to me like it was for nothing, in a way. So I was like disappointed, like it pretended to say much, and to me it didn't actually say so much. So, but at the same time, I like the concept, I like the ideas. I didn't like some of the what shall we say, female gaze descriptions, especially from certain people really lusting about other people, and not in a, my opinion, healthy way. That was also kind of not nice to read. So the overall concept was great, and I was excited for a while, but then it just, I guess I can say there was no real payoff, or it wasn't worth it. If that makes sense. Like, it's still not bad. It's not bad. If it was bad, I would give it 2 or 1 star. So 2.5, 3 stars, somewhere there, around there. So yeah, it is definitely interesting, but I didn't in the end feel like I got kind of, it almost seemed like, as I said before, it tried to say much, but it ended up saying nothing. So, but yeah, Brave New World, number 1. Second book was The Witcher, Blood of Elves. So this is first one now in I don't know the Witcher order. It's so complicated because it starts with 0.3 and then 0.5, and then I think there's the 0.7, which I think didn't read because it's recommended to read that one later, and this is the first one, I think. Anywho, so here we continue Geralt of Rivia and Ciri story. We have a lot of non-Geralt POV in this one, which is why I can imagine that maybe some people wouldn't like it. I personally did like it a lot. We also get a lot of Triss Merigold. If you know The Witcher, you know who she is. She is a sorceress or enchantress in the Witcher world, and basically she goes to Kaer Morhen on request by the Witchers of Kaer Morhen because of Ciri, because she's a girl and they never had to handle a girl. And now there's a thing, I would like to say something, but I think it's spoilery. Yes. So let's do, this is spoiler now. So Triss Merigold, for those who know, she is madly in love with Geralt, and also, but I didn't know her, but I didn't, I kind of knew, but I didn't know it in to this extent. She really badly lusts for Geralt. Like, even on the way to Kaer Morhen, she's like, oh, did he summon me? Was it him? And like, that's kind of fine. But then when they give her a room, the first immediate thought she has, why can't I sleep with Geralt? Without even considering like how he would think. She just kind of almost like, yeah, she's very me focused. And then when she lies there in her bed, she literally basically just lusts there, laying on her back, and all she can think about is having sex with Geralt. And I'm just like, you're a bitch. Because also she knows that he and Yen are, well, they're not together at this point. They're split up, and they have been split up for years at this point. So fair-ish, but still Yen is supposed to be a good friend of hers. And she's even saying like she's kind of jealous, but she doesn't care. She just really wants him. She even forces a kiss on him in this book. And I'm just like, I never liked you, Tris. I knew you were false, and now you're even worse. Okay, done with spoilers. Anyhow, so here, what can I say? So yeah, it's again, it's like adventure stories. We have like Siri doing some training and also getting some support, which is one really cute thing that I really want to share. It's not a big spoiler, it's just a small thing that happens. So we females, we have a monthly cycle, and of course poor Siri, living with only men, they weren't really prepared for that. And then when Tris comes, she has a really lovely solution that when Siri wears a dress, that means she's in her time. That means they should take it more easy on her, no like too physical training. And I just thought that was so wholesome. So I really like that one. And then we get some adventures, and like Siri and Geralt are really cool. Also Dandelion. We have a lot of Dandelion POV here as well, which I really enjoy. Because yeah, there's some stuff happening to him. Don't want to spoil anything. Where in the end we need Geralt, and basically what is starting here to happen is that we have, is conspiracy the right word? I suppose. So people are starting to look for Siri, and they want to find her, and it's starting to be rumored because she is she's the grandchild of the former queen of Sintra, and it's rumored that she's alive, and that she's with a certain witcher with white hair. We all know who that is. And so people are starting to ask around about Siri, and like our group is starting to realize that there is something more to her. She also has some episodes that Tris, not even Tris as a sorceress, can explain as magic per se. And no, that's also spoilery. And yeah, so adventures, we continue Siri, and we know a lot about Siri in this one. So I personally really enjoyed it. 5 stars for me. I loved it. It was really good. So that would be Blood of Elves, The Witcher. Book number 3 was, by, I didn't even say it, by obviously Andrzej Sapkowski. Sorry for that. I also did that in the last video. I never said that Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe is by Fanny Flagg. I don't know why I didn't mention her name. At least I didn't now. Next up we have Mind Platter by Najwa Zebian, maybe? Something like that. Sorry if that's wrong. So this is a collection of poetry. Love the cover, and to me it sounded really nice, because basically all I knew about this was what is on the blur, so I'm going to read that. At the end of the day, no one will walk your journey for you. You have to do that. At the end of the day, no one will dream for you. You have to do that. Very simple, small thing. And I was like, yeah, that's like, yeah, very true. Like, if my dream is XYZ, it can only happen if I, number 1, dream it, and if number 2, I take the steps to get closer. I just thought it was nice. And so Mind Platter is basically supposed to be like a lot of like stuff that just came into this person's mind, and they just wanted to let it out. Unfortunately, what ended up happening, this is basically what do you call it, like word diarrhea by a certain person. So it's not very good poetry. There are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of repeats in here of the same thing over and over again, with just some words switched left and right, so not really inventive either. And after like page 1 and blur, the rest was basically meaning nothing to me, and eventually I was so baffled I'm sorry, how this collection of poetry is like published. And then I found out it was self-published, and I'm very sorry. I have self-published together with a group of friends, a group of people. We self-publish short stories where each of us writes 1 short story. So I have nothing, absolutely nothing against self-publishing. I think it's a great option for people to get their work out there. But here in this case, I'm afraid, I think someone who actually knows poetry and prose could have helped a lot to make this collection more concise, like strike out all the duplications and make the authors more meaningful, because right now it's literally just word vomit and nothing else. So yeah, I unfortunately don't have anything good to say about it. I thought it has a nice like general idea with the blur, but the end result, I felt nothing, and I was glad when I was through. So yeah, not gonna say more. no point in keep going. And then I read Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. Kazuo, right? Yeah. Ishiguro. This was really interesting. So, and now comes the thing. So I read this because it was recommended to me by by two separate YouTubers that I'm watching their booktube. And both of them said there was this huge twist that they got really surprised. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So now I'm gonna be blunt. No. I did not see any huge twist. What are you talking about? I still liked it. I think it's a very good book, by the way, so I should maybe get that out first. But like if you have heard the same, if someone has told you like, oh my god, there's such a huge surprise in the end, I had no idea this is going to go this way, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. It's pretty clear very early on what is happening here, in what type of world we are, because we're not in today's world or in now time. And what is going on with our protagonist, or our group of we have our main protagonist Kathy, who is the one telling the story in the first person, and then we have her best friend Ruth and Tommy, and it's mostly about them, and then also some more people in the friendship groups. And very early on, it's like explained. So Kathy, as she starts the book, she's saying she's a carer. She takes care of donors. It's not said much more than that. From there, we can figure out, okay, so people donating organs, and that sounds maybe a bit strange. Maybe my first thought was, maybe these are terminally ill, and so they get a carer that they can donate organs. But yeah, so it was already a little bit like what is going on here, but very, very, very fast. Like you figure out what is happening and what is the actual case. And so in one way, I just want to say it because in my opinion, it's pretty clear. I think I knew it after the first chapter, or maybe the second. So, but again, I am going to put, just for those who are complete sensitive, you do not want to know what my interpretation was after very early in the book, like 100% first part of the book, then fine, I absolutely understand, that's okay. So I'm going to put the spoiler tag up so you know. So basically these guys are clones. So they're not real human beings, they're cloned, and the only reason for their production was to be donors. So in this world, they clone people and then they let them grow up like regular, so there's like no speed up process. So they clone them from young. That is not explained, but we do know that from children on, they go to then dedicated schools for clones where like real humans watch over them. And yeah, and that is what this story is about. Then how is it to be a clone? Okay, so we're done with the spoiler section, so now I'm gonna talk a little bit differently. So Kathy then tells how she also was a carer for Ruth and Tommy, and that she's looking forward to being done. She's done it for 11 years, I believe. So she's looking forward to be done as a carer because it's quite exhausting and stuff like that. And so from this we know that both Ruth and Tommy then are donors. So, and then we learn basically through her telling, going backwards when they were together at school, at a special school, where they had these people taking care of them, and everything was like organized, and everything was explained to them. They were like even allowed to like fraternize, have love, have relationships. They were not really encouraged to have sex at the school, but they were like told what sex is, and they were also told that they can never have children or produce children. And yeah, and then basically we just go through their slightly different life. And it is like hinted at, like, who, like back then Kathy says they never really thought about who's organizing their lives, but it has like these very set stages. First a school, then after that they go to like a resort or of some sorts where they have some free time there, and they're supposed to work on a thesis, and until then they become carers, and yeah. So to me, again, there was no huge big surprise. I did enjoy very much the dynamic between the three mains, Kathy, Ruth and Tommy. In my humble opinion, Ruth is a bitch. I'm sorry. If you love Ruth, to me she's a toxic bitch that is like the best friend that is absolutely not a friend at all. That is only me oriented, and stuff like that makes me angry, because I have had a few friends like that. I have been gaslighted into thinking I'm the wrong person, and so I maybe react a little bit more more harsh on Ruth than others would. But I couldn't stand, and I felt so sorry for Kathy. Kathy is really this very cute, very kind, like almost never raising her voice kind of girl. And then of course we have Tommy, and Tommy is very fast coming together with Ruth. So they're like kind of this triangle, but even Ruth says, oh, you mean so much to Tommy, and that at least is nice, and things like that. So we get to see how they grew up from, like I said, school to that resort kind of place, and then again it's Kathy looking back and explaining how she got to be a carer where she is right now. Very, very interesting, because of the things also I said in the spoiler sections. So if you didn't listen to that, yeah, it just has a different view on life for different kinds of people, I suppose, is what I can say. Sounds maybe a bit strange, but hey, that's the best I can do without naming it by the word. Yeah, so I've really enjoyed this. All in all, there is a movie adaptation. I haven't seen it yet. I would actually like to see it, because I think it will work well as a movie. One thing I do want to say, what slightly miniature annoyed me in this book was one of the writing styles by Kazuo Ishiguro. He would like so many often times like say, like he would like start like something and then this happened, and or not that. Then he not like that. Sorry, he would more like say, and then we came to this because of the, I don't know, because of that Friday night, for example. That's all he says, that Friday night. And he does that about 100 times, if not more. And then we go back and sometimes 2 or 3 layers until we come to that one point where he's at, because then before that Friday night, it's also that talk that Mrs. Didida had. And you know what I mean? And like he just does it so often. It was too often. It was too repetitive to that style that it came constantly. Like, why can't you just organically tell the story? Like, it can be fine to have it as a chapter break or something, or I don't know, to raise your interest, but it's been done so often here that, like I said, it slightly annoyed me. It wasn't at the same time not world ending, destroying. It's fine, but bit weird quirk that I thought I mentioned. But anyway, so Kazuo Ishiguro, Never Let Me Go. So I enjoyed it, and yeah, I was gonna say if I want to say how I felt about the ending, but I don't think I want to. I think, yeah, read it yourself and then you'll know. And lastly, we have 5 books this time. Although this is a book that I've started in February, I think. So this was like my in-between book that I would read when I was done with books and waiting for new ones to arrive. And I eventually now finished it in April, yes. So this is Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. So I bought this book when I was in India at the Isha Center. And yeah, so as the title says, this is about your inner life, inner engineering. So it's basically Sadhguru giving some yogic tips and tricks on also telling his story on how he became enlightened, how his enlightenment happened. That was very interesting. That was part 1. And then in part 2, basically talking about like things that can make your life difficult, or like things that, like, in a way trying to show us that many times it's we who make our own lives more difficult. And then basically he tries to give like ways to help to make it easier and like see past things, and also to explain what maybe can be the source of like dark thoughts, and I don't know, it's very difficult to explain. So yeah, but so this is obviously non-fiction. Really enjoyed it. I normally don't rate non-fiction, so I didn't rate this one, because I feel like that's not in, yeah, it's not for me. I'm happy to rate fiction on what it did for me. Non-fiction for me, it's either it worked or it didn't. And this one worked, so I did enjoy it. It's also not too long. I did mark a few things that I thought were very interesting and stuff that I want to come back to, like very simple little sentences. And yeah, and we're already over half an hour, so I think I've talked long enough. Alrighty. So it's this bunch of books is very weird to hold because we have very long and very small books. Let's see if we get it somewhat nicely. Hey! Yeah, I think that kind of worked, right? Yeah, looks good. All right, so these are my 5 April books, and yeah, beginning of May. Let's see when this goes live. Hopefully also beginning of May. But hey, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope there is something you're reading right now, and yeah, just take it easy, believe in yourself, you got it, and see you around. Bye.